Alrighty, we have enough people in chat that I don't want to keep anyone waiting any longer. So, a quick mic check. I'm assuming everyone can hear me because I can see my levels going up and down pretty high. Let's go ahead and get into it. Talk to. Is that podcast even still operating? Like I thought she got like canceled or something, or like people just got sick of her after like 3 episodes. Anyway, that's what we're here for. Let's see if I still know how to use OBS. All right. So what? Oh wow, you can see part of my desktop there. There we go. So it is, of course, November 22nd, and November 22nd, 1994 is the original release date in Japan for the Sega Saturn console. As such, I have chosen to kind of anchor our annual event on SegaXtreme around these dates. November 22nd for Japan, May 11th for North America, and then, of course, July 8th for Eurozone. What is going on? Normally, for the past 5 or 6 years or so, I've lost track at this point, I've been organizing and hosting the SegaXtreme annual Sega Saturn Homebrew competition, which was relatively competitive, high stakes, sometimes relatively big cash prize competition for generating homebrew games, hacks, patches, translations, utilities, you name it. Welcome into the stream, Hash. Anyway, last year was the 30th anniversary. I decided that was the last year I wanted to do like the competition format, and so I decided way ahead of time, and I already discussed this with the judges like a year and a half ago. I was like, okay, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be our big last big competition. After this, I'm gonna change the format. I want to do something different. For other reasons that I feel like the community has matured enough where like the competition no longer serves the purpose of like generating original game content. The original game content now outpaces the pressure that the competition format provides, so that I want to change it into a showcase. So this is more of a celebration than like a half of a pool cue, throw it at 3 guys in a room and see who comes out alive kind of thing. Holy fish pastake. I'm having trouble parsing that. Yeah. I mean, Saturn E3, I feel like is a little bit closer to what I'd like to do. So what I'm doing is I'm organizing the showcase into a zine. Now we still have cash prizes. So the idea here is starting today, the entry form is live. The SegaXtreme threads are live. So if you have an entry that you've worked on since the last competition, enter it into the showcase. And what's going to end up happening is that your entry will get reviewed 2 to 3 times by a panel of judges, and we'll go over reviewers, and we'll go over who the reviewers are in a second. And we'll get a little page in an online zine. I will compile the zine together into a nice little PDF, and we'll publish it off on the SegaXtreme forums. Shiro will also get a copy, probably ahead of time, actually. And then if there's enough call for it, if I can organize enough pre-orders and commitments to do a printing, maybe like, I don't know what it would take to make it worth it. Probably like more than 20 people. But if there's enough interest, I'd like to do like a physical printing of the zine the same way that Shiro did a physical printing of the Shiro magazine. Maybe Saturn Sage is also appropriate. I think Saturn Sage is a little bit closer because like E3 requires like I rent out a hall, like a Hilton or something, set up stage lights, that kind of thing, and then get embarrassed by Sony like the next day right after we're done. So let's go over the format, right? So again, starting today, entry form is live. You have until May 11th, 2026. It's basically half a year. So I mean, get cracking. To submit it on May 11th, the judges will have approximately 2 months to generate reviews. And again, every review, I'm aiming to have every entry to have 2 to 3 reviews. So each entry will get its own page, and then once all the reviews are in, the reviewers will also submit nominations. Kind of like their top 3 picks for each one of these categories. and they'll do like an instant runoff selection for each of these categories. An entry can't win more than once, but you can get a cash prize for getting one of these categories. Categories are Best Original Game, Best Translation Patch, Best Non-Translate. I knew every year there's a mistake. Every year, I thought I had it this time. Okay, Best Non-Translation Patch. Basically, if you like hacked the game, added a thing, cheat code, some modification that's like, fun or non-trivial, and kind of like, and again, I'm gonna reference a patch, even though, it's not supposed to be a translation, but I'm referencing bulk slash because what they did was beyond a translation. They added features to the game via North American voice acting and what have you, to the point where like that might qualify for like a non-translation feature that would be competitive for that category. Best Utility, and then Most Creative. So like maybe you're not like the best game, but you had the most interesting idea or the most creative idea, or maybe you just put like Garfield up and everyone just really loved it. That kind of thing. And then Most Likely Fan Favorite. This is trying to relieve some steam from the Best Translation Patch. Translation Patch, it's very competitive between who put in a lot of polish and who basically translated a game that everyone's been waiting for, something like Princess Crown, right? So the Princess Crown translation is, sufficient, but it's not like something like a bulk slash translation where bulk slash just like added a bunch of stuff or added a degree of polish that wasn't available or wasn't expected. So maybe Best Translation Patch is more like a holistic, here's where I think the most effort went to the translation of this game, and the best, the Most Likely Fan Favorite is like, here's what I think the community actually wants to see. Sup, Ahmed, welcome to the stream. And Valigo, how are so many people filing in right now? Welcome everyone. And again, just to reiterate, because we just like tripled our attendance over like the past 5 minutes. Sega Saturn 31st Anniversary Homebrew Showcase. We are celebrating the 31st anniversary of the Sega Saturn's release as of its Japan release by showcasing all of the new Sega Saturn games and patches that have been coming out over the course of the year. Oh. I'm not familiar with Valigo. Valigo, I appreciate it. I don't know. Do you Valigo? Do you do homebrew stuff, or do you like a PC game kind of? Okay, yeah. So obviously my streaming schedule recently has been fantastic, but I am a Saturn homebrew developer. So go to emeraldnova.com. You can see some of the games that I've developed. I'm in the middle of a secret project right now, and once I'm done with that, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll go back to working on Scenario, which is like my big boy, first-person role-playing dungeon crawler a la Daggerfall or something like that. And I'm not here to talk about that specifically. I'm here to talk about the SegaXtreme community as a whole. SegaXtreme is like an ancient form. I'm pretty sure the estimates put it at almost as old as the Saturn itself, in terms of like an actual continuous forum with some really old posts, a big community that's maintained its population, maintained its connections, and the showcase is there to show that the community is still active, still generating software for the Saturn, and we want to produce a little zine here so that we have a little kind of like a little flip book if we print it, or if not, something to just like scroll through, just to show, hey, here's some neat stuff that the Saturn community has been making. Oh yeah, I'm learning more about the N64 people. They're doing some surprising stuff too. Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad that you found the Saturn through me. A few people have found Saturn through me because I've like over the past like 6 or 7 years, or I forget how long I've been doing this, but I have been trying to promote the Saturn homebrew community. So that includes my work, but also includes like the work of the SegaXtreme community in general. Also, you might want to check out the Shiro Media Group, because they cover all the news for all the new stuff that's coming out in Saturn, and that's like ODEs, patches, software, like just random stuff. Yeah, it is a very active community. I would venture a guess to say that the Saturn homebrew community, out of the homebrew communities out there, it's probably the most active, maybe second to the Atari community. It's just that the Atari community is a little bit less active on the socials and more active in the convention scene. but the Saturn community, they produce a lot of good work, and we've had a lot of fantastic patches, translations come out, and some very, very impressive original games. Most of them not quite complete, but a lot of them very, very impressive, either tech demos or very impressive. What if Sega actually put effort into marketing this console and supported devs a little bit better? Yeah. So again, thank you for bringing everyone to the stream. Let me continue going over the showcase format. Retiring the competition format and going to just a pure showcase. So people will enter their games. It's going to be 4 main categories that you put your game into: original game, hack or patch, which is non-translation, essentially a modification of an existing game, translation, self-explanatory, and utility. And that goes back to, like, here's the thing that will help you do stuff with the Saturn, either to develop games for it or to interact with it. A lot of, like, same game utilities or level editors or stuff like that. This song is rough for this announcement stream. There we go. And again, the cash prize pool is still there, and we've still rolled over all the cash prizes donated from last year's winners, along with my annual contribution to help run the thing. One of the changes is I'm no longer doing physical prizes. It's been the bane of my existence every time I run the competition. I'm sick of mailing people stuff, especially after the whole Terraform ordeal. It should become a nightmare. So we're just going full-on cash prizes, and if anyone wants a copy of the magazine, if we have reprinting, we'll talk about that later. I mean, I'm sorry you're not going to get your That's It Guys 3D print anymore, but it really is a massive pain in my backside to organize that part of the competition. This will I no longer have the time in my life to try to organize international mailing. Ever since Emerald Jr. came into existence, it's just been a little bit harder to put effort into the community the way I did before. So cash prizes, PayPal or Venmo or what have you, still a-okay. We'll still do it that way. And I think people appreciate a cash prize more than a 3D print anyway. Like, everyone has access to a creator space at some point. If you're like in this community, you usually find a way to do it that's probably cheaper than mailing it to you. Oh boy, random. I'd love to hear it. Well, you can put it in chat while I go over the actual reviewers. Okay, so the reviewers, we're actually looking for a couple more. I've gotten 7 volunteers. And it's a little bit more of a commitment than the normal review stuff, because you're no longer just like ranking your favorite entries. You have to actually write a review. So what we're asking is for the reviewers to do 7 to 10 reviews of around 200 to 300 words each. And I'm going to fit that into a magazine format. And again, when the PDF comes out, it'll come out. And so once again, we have Krista Lee of Sound Retro Co. Back from last year. Dan Thrax from the Shiro Media Group. As a new reviewer, and he writes so many articles for Shiro. I'm like, he was probably end up going to do the equivalent amount of work promoting the Sega Saturn community, whether or not he was a reviewer for the showcase. David Jimenez back again, veteran judge. Millennium Shane. So you know Millennium Shane from That's It Guys. He's a personal friend of mine and also helps sponsor the competition with the physical prizes. We're not doing that this year anymore, but he has agreed to write reviews for us. So he will be contributing to the zine that way. He also runs the Shane Starcade, which I try to make an appearance off annually. Usually it shows up at MegaCon Orlando, and what that is it's an annual charity event, and that's tied to the same Extra Life charity that I run whenever I do an Extra Life, which admittedly has been a couple years since I did the last one, but we raise money for Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. Shane Starcade, what we do, and I can attest to this because I can still feel it in my back from last year. We haul in CRTs into a convention hall so that we can play original hardware on CRTs. And we set up a playroom for basically everybody to come in. Genesis, Saturn, Dreamcast, N64, a lot of Wii/GameCube just running, Smash. And every other odd console that's basically like whatever, RCA connections are still relevant. So, Haas, there is no... The limits for entries are the same as they've always been, which is like, you can enter multiple games if they're like substantially different from each other. If they look like you're just doing small iterations of the same thing, on the same base. We'll probably just group it into one category and judge it on that merit. A minimum functional requirement. We've never had to do that, although every year we do end up having 1 or 2 entries that are basically just, hey, I'm learning Joe Engine, and here's a picture on the screen. It's... I don't want to, like, categorically say, like, you know, you need to be this good to enter the zine. Although maybe the judges and I can discuss this, you know, during... or the viewers and I can discuss this during the time to judge it, was like, does this even qualify? Like, do we even want to write a review for a game that doesn't run on hardware? You know, that kind of thing. So maybe we'll be a little bit more discerning when it comes to actually publishing the zine, because I don't want to waste a page of just saying, hey, this game is literally just, you know, a sprite on a blank background. Because that's happened before. So we want to avoid that, so maybe we'll be a little bit more discerning that way. But I mean, if you have an actual gameplay loop, and almost everyone usually has some sort of gameplay loop for an OG entry or an HPT entry. Like, it's hard to screw up an HPT entry. But I would say enter whatever you have, and if it doesn't make it into the zine, it's probably because it didn't work for anyone, or it just wasn't like an actual thing, like an actual game to interact with. Anyway, so that's Shane's in. Pandemonium's back in, and you know Pandemonium is always great about you know, doing an annual competition review video where he goes over every entry in detail, and he'll essentially just kind of adapt his script for that into his reviews for the zine. I think it'll basically be no change in work for him. Yeah, he is a fantastic, like, if you haven't seen Pandemonium yet, you need to go on his YouTube channel, subscribe. He does these fantastic docu-series for every Sega Saturn game released in the order that it was released. That Virtue Copymentary is just, you know, an immaculate piece of Saturn historical work, especially when you get to the interviews. I managed to grab another Shiro. So Peter underscore, as he's stylized. I don't know how to pronounce an underscore without just saying underscore, so I'll just call him Peter. You know, got to meet him at PRGE about 1.5 years ago. Very nice guy. And he's also a frequent contributor to the Shiro Media Group. So I suspect that he'll very easily knock out a bunch of reviews to help fill out the zine. And once again, Trainico, you know, host of the Shiro Show, is back in. So those are our 7. And again, if you would like to help contribute reviews to the zine, if you have, like, you know, a presence in the Saturn community and you want to volunteer to do that, again, every reviewer, we're hoping to get a commitment of like 7 to 10, 200 to 300 word, you know, reviews to fill the zine out with. So I'm still looking for 2 more to fill out the traditional 9 reviewer entry slots. So if you want to review, find a way to contact me. You know, contact forms on my webpage, emeraldnova.com. You can find me on the Shiro Discord. You can find me on the SegaXtreme Discord. You can find me on the SegaXtreme forums. Okay, let's go over how we enter the competition. Okay, so here's a link to the entry form, and here's a link to the showcase thread. So let's go to the showcase thread first. Right? No one's liked it yet, so no one's caught that I've actually posted this 45 minutes ago. There's also a discussion thread. All right. So what is going on with this music? No. Close enough. Fine. That's still a bit much. Okay, there we go. I like that. I like Ristar. So once you're ready to enter the competition, you click on the form. It's a Google Doc form again. And the name of your entry. So for me, it would be like scenario. An entry description, and maybe I need to make this box a little bit bigger, but like try to give me a paragraph of like a view from the developer standpoint. Here's the thing that I made, or here's what the patch does, etc., etc. You know, something to put like a tagline of like, you know, this is a roguelike, you know, randomly generated procedural dungeon crawler, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. You know. Again, we split the categories into 4. So original game, hacks/patches. I got to work on the formatting there. Translations that are not specifically or translations as opposed to hacks patches, which are specifically non-translations. Again, I should probably add that as the little asterisk there. And then utilities, which is again something that helps you interact with the Saturn or develop for the Saturn better. Yeah. Oh wait, Random, you're doing music for Panda? DM me DM me the last video that you worked on music for. I want to hear it. I know he used your music for some of the showcase vids for the entries you participated in. I didn't think he was doing it on the main series. Okay. Link to entry. So basically, this is like, if you want, I highly recommend you go to SegaXtreme, create an account, just join the SegaXtreme community, and you can upload a resource, and that resource could be your entry, and you can just add, well, I'm not going to add a resource. Let me just show you one of mine. Eeny, meeny, miny, where are... There we go, resource. So let's go one of my games. Let's just go freaking Galaxmus. Galaxmus was always fun. Wow, it's been that long. I need to make a new Christmas game. Yeah, so you know, you can upload your game. It'll hold the file here, so other people can download it direct from SegaXtreme. You know, put in your credits here, put in some screenshots, and so what I would like is a link to an entry, preferably on SegaXtreme resources. If you want to put it somewhere else, just make sure it's not something that's gonna die, like a Mega or Media Fire or whatever link that's like only good for 30 days, and then a link to 3 screenshots because I need to format the magazine with it. Oh, a .NET bin, yeah. Okay, so that's something I wanted to play with at some point, which is like if you use the Saturn browser, you can actually go to a web page, download a .NET bin file, and just run it as a binary in your Saturn. As long as your connection can hold it in the RAM, it'll actually run the game, which is hilarious. But I don't know if there's like an appreciably sized game that would actually make sense to do that way. I might be interested in doing that as like a Christmas special. I'll think about it. So yeah, link to entry, link to 3 screenshots. If you have like an Imgur with like the 3 screenshots there, just put the same link in all 3 slots and it'll be fine. If you want to make it a secret entry, honestly, this isn't super relevant anymore other than for like announcement purposes. If you do want to make it a secret entry, I'll flag it for the judges saying, hey, don't discuss this before July 8th. Yeah, it's like a 1 to 2 kilobyte or megabyte game, but even still, that's enough to do something. It's not a lot. Entrant names, so that's like the names of you and your team if you're working with a team. There have been more and more teams forming lately, which is why I kind of want to reduce the cutthroat competition aspect of it and just graduate to a more here's what the whole community is doing kind of thing. Contact info, because again, I need to be able to contact you if you have a prize, right? So there's the 6 prize categories. I probably need to rearrange this, but shove the save file up here. But if you win one of the 6 prize categories, original, translation, non-translation patch, utility, creative, or fan favorite, I will literally just deposit money into whatever account you send me over here. I can do PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, or if you just wanted to donate to the next year's competition, I need to get rid of this entry because this no longer really makes sense. But this could basically just be split among the other prizes. Yeah. And that's essentially it. You submit that, I'll have the entry, and I'll forward the information to the judges as appropriate. SCSP. You're gonna have to remind me, is SCSP responsible for the MIDI playback, or what is it doing? Anyway, I would like to hang out longer on stream. If you guys have any questions, we can go over that. I can't really go a little longer than the bottom of the hour, so like another 30-35 minutes or so. What we can do, I don't have any development plan for tonight because I'm still on Secret Project and I don't want anyone to see what's going on there. You guys can find out when you find out. Well, I know it's a sound system. I was just asking if it was like, have we finally unlocked MIDI for real? I know I've seen some code that looks like it could do that, but I haven't verified it yet. I was planning on doing a stream on it down the line. The beeps, the sweeps, and the creeps? Nah, man. Making tracker music is fun. You should learn to do that. Anyway, for the rest of the stream, that is the announcement, and as soon as we're done, I'll try to push this up my YouTube channel. For all the new viewers today, if you want to see some of my previous development work on Sega Saturn, you can see my YouTube page, literally Emerald Nova on YouTube. You search for it, or you on my website, you can find the link for it, emeraldnova.com. I think I think a good example for what you can get done in a reasonable amount of time, I would go watch my making Minesweeper in 5-hour stream. So I went from beginning to end, made an entire functional game in a single stream, and I think that's like a great benchmark for like, this is a good starter project, like a game like Minesweeper or something of that scope. Maybe something like Arkanoids or Snake or whatever. Just like if you don't have any previous programming experience and you want to learn C, you can get pretty decent at C just by making a game on Sega Saturn, because making a video game requires a lot of different moving parts, and it requires an eye for a little bit of software architecture. So, you know what? Let's give that a shot, Ray. We'll talk about that tomorrow, right? But yeah. So go on, if you're interested in learning how to develop for the Saturn and you don't have experience in it. Go download Joe Engine. In fact, let me go ahead and go to Joe Engine. There we go, joetechengine.org. And if you don't go to Joe Engine, if you want the up-to-date version, because the Joe Engine webpage seems to be loading pretty slow today, you can go direct to the GitHub and get the latest release, 2025.1. It's not even that old. Joe's been a supporter of the competition for a while now. I don't think he'd have the time to actually act as a judge or a reviewer versus just a judge, but he does have some information for me that I may have to do a second update stream about the showcase if it comes through, and that's all I'm going to say about that for now. But Joe has been fantastic for the Saturn Homebrew community, because Joe Engine is the piece of tech you want to use when you're just getting into Saturn Homebrew. If you just want to learn how to interact with the Saturn, like at a basic level, Joe Engine will hold your hand and get you into a game very, very quickly. Yeah, I learned C a little bit in high school, but I never really retained it. I relearned C via Joe Engine, and I got decent-ish at C. Like I can live code in C, and if you want to go back in my previous streams and judge how true that statement is, I feel like I'm okay enough. I mean, I've made games before, right? I made the engine that runs Blue Sky. I made a handful of other games that are just like different formats, so some little bit of flexibility there. And if you want to get good coding, on your own time, obviously, like, the current environment's not great for trying to get into the industry if you want to be a junior dev. But if you want to get at coding for the sake of getting good at coding, making video games is something I highly recommend. And if you want to enter the competition, make games for the Saturn. Every year we get new games from people that just came out of nowhere saying, "Hey, I'm just learning how to do Saturn. I'm using Joe Engine, and here's a little adventure game," and they end up looking like really ridiculously good. So like don't let a lack of experience scare you away from trying. The whole point of this showcase is to try to promote not only the currently existing community's work, but also to invite new people into the community to make new stuff. I do need to learn C++ for SRL, and honestly, my C++ is literally just C with classes right now. I don't know how to do like real proper C++ yet. Pandemonium Saturn Enjoyer. You're not actually Pandemonium. You're like a Pandemonium fan, right? Like, I can't tell. It's I figured Panda would have grabbed Pandemonium properly. Oh, that is Pandemonium. What do you? How did you not grab Pandemonium? Like you've been sitting on the YouTube channel for forever. I mean it's not a bad save, but like I feel bad that you didn't get Pandemonium just straight out. No, this is Patrick. Once again, Pandemonium, fantastic supporter of the competition, supporter of the Sega Saturn community in general, and a member of the Shiro Media Group, and of course, above all, fantastic video documentarian and newscaster. Yeah, that's what's funny to me, that you got swooped on your own name. Yeah, no, he is fantastic. Like, he is a top tier quote unquote video essayist, because it's not really a video essay; it's basically a documentary. Anyone that has any interest in the life cycle and the history of Saturn game development should go look at some of his later videos where he gets actual developer interviews going. No, thank you, Panda, for helping make the zine a thing. Here, I want to spend the last half hour of the stream going over some examples to get some inspiration, because I have to put this thing together. I downloaded Scribus, but I didn't have time today to actually start putting together a draft. What I want to do is, with you guys, I want you to tell me what you think looks good, because we're going to go over some examples of some Saturn magazines from from the appropriate time period, when the Saturn was actually like current. Back when you could buy a magazine for £2 and 3/4. So the thing about when I started going through some of these is that the layouts felt very plain, in a way that, like, hey, this is a really cool looking ad, but then you get over here, it's like it's very blocky. So, and also the colors muted, which does help with readability, but also, like, I want to scroll down to over like this one. It's literally black text on white, and I'm guessing that's good for printing, but like, I want to do something better than this. Like, I want to have like an interesting background or something like that that doesn't like compete with words. I mean, this isn't so bad. This is at least the layout works. So let's just zoom in a little bit here and just kind of like eyeball the word count, right? So this is not. Is this selectable? No, it's not selectable. So let's just do like a quick word count on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's call it like 8-ish, right? Because some of these are longer than others, and there's a lot of articles in this one. And then I'm not gonna do Math Lab on stream. I'll let the computer do that for me. So let's just call it like 250 divided by 8, right? So like 30 lines. So if we were, is that Matthew Broderick? No, that's someone else. Okay. So if we had like an average size review and we had it in this kind of column format, it would take like 31 lines in this, like this. Oh boy. And so 2 to 3 reviews like that, I think would nicely fill up the page. In fact, it might be a little bit squished. Game Fan. Okay, let's go look up Game Fan. So I had a few others pulled up too. So I had Sega Saturn magazine. I really like this background though, if I want to point this out. So this kind of grid thing, like back from the Master System days, I want to invert that, do like a light blue on black kind of thing, or like a faded blue on black grid, kind of like Phantasy Star 2. And that would be like my preference for how to do it. Anyway, let's go look up. You said what was it? Game Fan magazine, and let's try to get it at 1995. Game Fan Volume 3, Issue 10. All right. Oh, Vector Man. Is Vector Man really that late cycle? Okay. So here's one of the things I'm like, I'm not sure if this is the best way of going about it, but it's definitely the easiest way to make it readable. Is it's just black on white text, and they shove it into a box surrounded by an actual background. But like, this text is also readable, so why can't they let the background like exist and just size the words appropriately? I have a strong preference for white on black text as opposed to black on white. Wait, if Vector Man came out in 95, Vector Man 2 was also on the Genesis. When did that come out? Like 96? 97 at the latest? Okay, which one is the Guardian Heroes issue? Because I don't, I'm not sure which one that is. I mean, the Virtual Highlight on Saturn is an appropriate, like, entry. Look, no one wants to get flashbanged by a PDF, okay? And that's another thing, is like, I don't want to, like, always been tricky getting sponsors. We had a lot of sponsors one year, and it was kind of like a rat's nest of like, hey, this all fell in my lap, and now I got to organize it. And I'm incredibly grateful for the sponsors, but also it's a lot of organization and handling like money and shipping for people in a way that's like it puts a lot of liability on me that I no longer want to deal with unless it's like worth it. So like when we got that really nice Sega Sancho fight stick from Harman Customs, that was incredible, and we ended up having to donate it, and so I had to figure out a way to do it with a maximum transparency so it didn't look like it was being embezzled or something like that. So we ended up auctioning it on eBay, and then I had to directly take that money over and make up for the eBay cut so it didn't look like I was stealing off the top, to donate it to was it Arnold Palmer, or was it St. Jude, or was it someone else? I forget who the charity was at the time. I think it might have been Arnold Palmer. Hospital for Children, that is. And then we had to get it shipped to the right place, so I had to communicate with Harman and the winner of the auction, and then make sure that the receipts demonstrated what was happening. And I also had to cover the cut on the top. And eBay does not take a small cut, so it actually cost me more than even just shipping cost to run the competition that way. Similarly, at least for said, he gave us a coupon. He gave us a coupon for the Fenrir. So the winner of the OG category that year got that. So that was a lot easier to deal with. But anytime I'm dealing with physical prizes, it becomes a massive mistake. Check Score magazine. Okay, let's check that out. Score magazine. Let's try 1996. Or Ray can just link it to me. Yeah, I think this is the wrong one. Let's whoops. I hope that doesn't get me caught up on YouTube. Boy. There we go. Let's do that one. Ah, dude, this is a really nice render for the time. I like this. It's like bump mapped and everything. I kind of want to do some. Here's the thing. I want characters that look like in scenario, but I know the Saturn can't freaking handle it. How do I zoom out? This is page width. There we go. Well, okay, so here's the thing. The actual layout in terms of like geometry, great. I just want a more interesting background, you know? I was actually gonna do something in Blender and like pre-render like a 300 DPI A4 sized background to put in the back and try to engineer it so that it's like muted to dark colors so that the white text can just pop on the front, but it still looks interesting. Yeah, man, I'm scared I'm gonna put that on YouTube and it's gonna get age restricted or something like that. What the heck is? When did I get Panzer Dragoon Orta onto the sound, the background? This isn't that good either. No. No. Okay, this is good enough. Okay. Is that Final Fantasy art? That looks like a Final Fantasy art, but that's Daggerfall. Oh, shoot! How did I confuse those two? Completely different genres. And none of these look like Daggerfall. That looks like Morrowind. What is this article about? I can't read check. Okay. Honestly, I'm sure this is a high quality magazine in terms of the articles that I can't read. I like the general layout of the screenshots compared to the text, but also like it's still being flashbanged. I want to see examples of like cool looking backgrounds. I mean, this is slightly better, but it's still, you know, plain. Really? I mean, the only game magazine I know is still being made is like Game Informer, right? That's literally just an ad. It's Game Fan. Let's look at some more Game Fan stuff. We need some more like mid-90s offensive ads. It's like, you know, like You remember that one ad where I think it was like a Game Gear ad or something like that, where like it would just look like some kid was playing with himself, and that they just played right into it. It was just like, that would not fly today. Retro Gamer Magazine. Well, I want something that's like from the time period, though. I don't want to ape like something that's currently happening. Okay, here's another score from Ray. Okay, let's feel lucky on this one. Let's do. We just saw that one. I like this. Is that Daggerfall? No, Dungeon Master. Okay. Yeah, the Daggerfall skeletons didn't wear the hat. It's a funny hat. It's a Prussian army hat, right? Is this some Eurozone deep sim kind of game? Ooh, I Have No Mouth. That was a good game. Right, it's still the formatting is still basically the same though. Like this isn't bad. I think something like this would be appropriate, right? So like title up the top, the description of the game provided by the developer, and then basically 3-ish columns, which would be representative of 3-ish reviewers. We're not really going to do a scoring system. It's going to be more like a Siskel and Ebert, do you like it or did you not kind of thing. Okay, let's, out of curiosity, let's go see Triple X. I'm not sure I want to click that. Not the other score magazine. There we go, Silk Song. Let's see today's issue. Oh, they don't have it. This one? No, they don't like sharing. All right, let's try 2020. Oh, that wasn't too long ago. Mafia. Nope. Okay. 2015. Might and Magic Heroes 4. How far back in time do I have to go to see the actual magazine? Mass Effect 2. Okay. There we go. Let's see what they were doing 15 years after that. I think they just want to share the new ones because they want to sell the back issues. See, this is a layout that's closer to what I'd like to do. Also, Spec Ops Line, fantastic game. Not enough room for the text, but at least it's somewhat interesting, and the formatting, even though it's a plain background, keeps it, like, it guides your eyes, right? Like, it's not just plain white. Maybe not that so much. This ain't so bad. Wait. Randon guy. Randon? Randon. Right, I thought you were... I didn't even catch that it was Randon and not random. Huh. Weird. Anyway, yeah, some of these are good examples of copy. So like this, at the very least, if you're going to do something like this, the eyes are guided in a way that like makes sense, although it's more busy than I'd like. This is literally just a blank wall of text. Is that... what even is this? Mafia 2? Okay. BioShock 2 does not feel like it was that old, but I guess it was. Okay, let's go back to GameFan, because I want to... Is this literally just... oh, that's Mortal Kombat. It looks like a page out of a Dungeon Master Guide from like 3rd edition or something. See, something like this, right? So we zoom in a bit, and let's ignore the boxes for a second. The background is interesting. It's doing something, right? Like it's a horizon, but it's not busy. And the text has a slight dark background, but like you just ignore that, like when you're reading. You know, there's color. This is something I'd like to do, like that. And then you can imagine like 3 of these boxes or 4 of these boxes are taken by screenshots, and the rest is like filled up with the actual reviewer. Because this... oh, is this selectable text? Can I copy this? Let's try Notepad. Oh, this is selectable text. We can actually get like a decent a decent estimate on word count based off of formatting. All right. I mean, these got a little bit jumbled up, but all right. Let's look for word count thing. 249, like pretty much on the dot, right? Okay, so where was it? There. So a review of like average size that I'm looking for takes up basically this much of the page. Imagine 3 of those reviews. So like kind of like tile it there, and there, and then surround it with screenshots. So it's like the perfect size. I think this page. So Game Fan, Volume 3, Issue 10, page 28. That's like, this is my reference for like what I think a good zine page would look like. Well, I mean, we're not limiting ourselves to 8-bit addressed strings. Yeah. So like this is what we're gonna copy. Is this page for the wipeout, right? We'll do 3 separate columns. We'll kind of squish them around the page. We'll surround them with screenshots provided by the users. The top of the page will have like the title, kind of like this. You know, where the PlayStation Nation. That's like the approximate size of like the title plus description from the author / entrant. And then the rest of the stuff down here will be like 3 of those reviews, 3 screenshots, interesting background. And maybe I'll try to come up with 2 or 3 different background concepts or something if I have time. And that will be the zine. And if we manage to get it printed, I think it'll be a very nice collection piece. Well, we'll keep looking a little bit for some more inspiration. Oh, that's sad. Joe Engine doesn't work anymore. Anyway, anyone that's trying to get into Saturn Homebrew, check out Joe Engine on GitHub. And then you go back to something like this, and it feels a little bit depressing to see. I've never liked Japanese page layout. Like, Japanese web design is just insane. SRL, like the web page for SRL. I think I already had it open, actually. This one? Oh, you mean the GitHub? Yeah, SRL GitHub. Do I probably have that up too, actually? Yeah, GitHub/Raby/Saturn Ring Library. I should probably have that permanently stickied in my YouTube description at this point, if it's not there already. I'll reload. Anyway, Premiere, C++ based Sega Saturn development for a little bit more advanced users. Great tool. Highly functional. Anyway, back to the magazine stuff. There's Score. Okay, Game Fan. Game Fan is like our standard now. And then it's just the Japanese formatting. Anytime they make a web page or a magazine or something, it just always looks so ugly to me. I don't like it. Tips and Tricks magazine. Here's a bunch here. Okay, maybe I'll go back for this one. I want to check out Tips and Tricks. Archive Tips and Tricks magazine, 1995. Wow, that is... I've never hated a pop-up more in my life than that. Why is that happening on Google? Oh, you know what? I use Chrome for my stream browser, and I had to like jury rig uBlock to get to work again with a freaking like escape flag on the shortcut to open Chrome. It's getting insane. And it still doesn't get rid of YouTube's freaking ad or AI notification or whatever. Okay, this is interesting, but also still somewhat plain to me. I'm a fan of the general layout geometrically, but the colors are uninteresting. Great game. Yeah, so like this, I want to avoid this where it's literally just like it looks like a textbook. It looks like I'm going to school. I know it's an ad. I just wanted to point out it's a great game. Everyone should play Phantasy Star 4. But yeah. So here's the thing. If I put no effort into it at all, it would end up looking like this. It would be like, here's 3 screenshots, here's 3 columns of text for the reviewers, and maybe some stuff at the top. But like, it's just so plain. I've seen more interesting physics textbooks in undergrad. I've seen more interesting physics textbooks in grad school. Wait, no. Oh, this? Well, like I said, this one, I appreciate the geometry. I just wanted more color. What I'm criticizing, really, is the reader's tips over here. Okay, no. Okay, I'm going. Wait, did I miss that? Stop playing with yourself. Did I miss that? Where was it? Because that's exact. Oh wow! I didn't even read. It didn't even register because I just expect that. Here's the thing. I want to sneak in one or two of those. I don't know if we should get sponsors to actually like, you know, put into the magazine, or we should just like. Because here's the thing. If we don't get sponsors and we just shove in products anyway, that's like, one, it's free advertising. Two, it's like playing favorites, which I don't really want to do, because then we start editorializing. It's like, hey, why did you put the Satiator here and not the Mode or the Saru or whatever? So it's kind of hard to shove in ads for anything that's not like, check out SegaXtreme, check out Shiro, you know, check out this YouTube channel. I'd be comfortable doing that, but we're talking about putting products in. I'd love to do these kinds of ads. I can't think of a tasteful way of doing it. No. I want the zine to actually be useful though. I don't want to put in like fake things like, hey, get this get this nonsensical like made up accessory or something like that. I mean, here's what I would be willing to do. I'd be willing to try to slap together ads for previous winners of the competition. That would make sense to me. I mean, I'm basically in charge of the magazine. I'd have to put in time to format this magazine. But, like, once the formatting is, everyone's basically going to get the same formatting, and maybe you'll swap the background every once in a while. But for the ads, you know, I might have to call in some help for that one, if that was going to happen. Probably not going to happen. This is interesting. Okay, no, you were right, Dan. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. This works. Now it's not super obvious what I would shove in here, like placeholder, like filler objects for this, but like this formatting, probably not enough room for all the text we need, but like it makes sense to put the reviewers in each own box. Something like this might be a little bit more appropriate. I think this is a good reference page, page 19. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I still like, oh geez, where was it? No, this. I still like GameFan more. GameFan is top tier for design for me, just for this page. Let's go check out one of these magazines that Ray linked. Let's check out Duke. Okay, no, Ray. You keep linking me magazines that are literally just white space with some pictures laid out. Like this one, there's almost no sense to how the images are laid out. It makes it impossible to read. Like look at this. Okay, when I follow this column down, I'm like dodging the pictures to try to read the words. Like this word right here, Jednej, if I'm pronouncing that right. It starts with a V. Is it Vajednej or something like that? Vajej. Yeah. It's the layout is like attacking the readability of the article. Does that make sense? Okay, let me try GameStar. Vajednej. That was aggravating. That was painful for me to try to. I mean, I imagine if I read check, it would make a little bit more sense. But even still, it was adversarial. I would describe that as adversarial layout. Like it's like you're challenging the reader to be able to try to read the page. Okay, you said GameStar. Did I? Okay, there's GameStar. I don't recognize any of these games. Lands of Lore. No, I actually do recognize Lands of Lore. I own that on GOG. I just haven't played it. Let's try this one. That's somewhat interesting. Okay, this is not egregious. This is fine. Now the problem is I'm never going to be able to organize a screenshot like this to worth like formatting the page around for every game, because not every entry is going to be like that. But this would be an interesting reference. I'll keep this open. The fourth one. Oh, yeah, I did that. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Okay, guys, it's getting close to the top of the hour. Like I said, I have other previous engagements tonight. Unfortunately, I just wanted to do the announcement stream, and I wanted to play around with some ideas for the magazine. And I feel like I have a lot of inspiration. If you want to help on the magazine, I would greatly welcome the help. Like I said, I'm using Scribus to try to format it. I've never really done a zine before, so this is all just kind of like a new thing for me. So it's going to be an additional project for me to do. If you have ideas for how to do some visual design for like the ads, quote unquote, for like previous game competition entries, more than welcome to help. If you are interested in being a reviewer for the showcase, please contact me, and we'll see if the time commitment makes sense to you. And for everyone else, I highly encourage you. If you don't already know some C, go ahead, give Joe Engine a try. Play around with the samples. There's a lot of samples, very very good samples. Check out some of the tutorials on the YouTube channel, Emerald Nova on YouTube. And just give it a go, because we love to see more Saturn homebrew development in the community. Every year we get people that are just starting and getting some really impressive looking entries. The SegaXtreme community is very great for helping you, kind of get started if you show that you're putting in the work and the effort and the hours to learn how to do it. So don't be afraid of joining the SX Discord, SX forums. Say, hey, I want to try and do something like this. How do I get started? What are the tools I want to use? And someone will be there to help you. If no one else, me. So once again, thank you guys for coming on the stream. And let me... I want to especially thank our raider, and I totally forgot his name, and I feel bad, the Valigo. So Valigo, I want to go check you out later, if you're still here. If you're not still here, I understand, because we got pretty boring pretty quickly. But thank you for the raid. Thank you everyone for coming to check out the stream. Thank you for all the previous competition entries and for past years, and I hope you come show back up again for this year's effort. Especially thank you for the reviewers who are volunteering a lot more time this year than last year, because, I'm basically asking for like 3,000 word essays from each of them, more or less. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I will endeavor to do another stream. I think the next stream I owe someone is VBT, has been doing work on Flashback. It's apparently running a lot better than it is last year. I expect to see a Flashback enter into the competition, or the showcase this year. And I think morning of Thanksgiving, which is a more convenient time for the Eurozone people, I will try to play Flashback on Saturn. So, with that said, good night everyone. See you next time.